Hi, my name is Delmarshae Walker. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing great today. What I want to talk about is Kanye West today. Well, he changed his name to Ye, so I'm going to be talking about Ye today. I see in social media a lot of people are like kind of wondering what's going on with Kanye. Is he crazy? Why he's going around acting like he's acting, why he's saying and doing the things that he's doing. And I want to start off by showing this video, and hopefully this video kind of answer those questions, why he's behaving the way he's behaving, as well as if he's crazy or not.
Bipolar disorder is a mental illness that around 6 million Americans suffer from. Although I'll tell you, it's really hard to know the numbers because sometimes people don't seek help. Bipolar depression, manic depression, these are terms that are all meaning the same thing. The manic part of it, think of that as the highest of highs in your life. You feel great, you may be more reckless though. The depressed part of it is sort of the lowest of the lows. I want to try and simplify this for you because I find this really fascinating. Here are the frontal lobes of the brain, and deep in here is an area of the brain called the amygdala. Think of the frontal lobes of the brain as your judgment area of the brain, but also your brakes. The area of the brain that tells you to slow down, to stop, think a little bit before you do something. And think of the amygdala as the emotional center in the brain. So someone who is manic typically has no brakes, frontal lobes are not really active, and the amygdala is red hot, meaning it's super active. Things that you think, you immediately do. It may lead to wild bursts of creativity with unlimited energy. That's oftentimes what the manic phase is. Depression, think about it as exactly the opposite. The frontal lobes are now turned all the way up. That means everything is just stopped. Nothing's getting out. The amygdala turned down. It means you have just no emotion. So you're apathetic, you don't want to get out of the house, you simply don't want to do anything. That's what's happening in the brain of someone who has manic depression. The episodes can last hours, they can last days, they can last weeks. People can go through cycles over a time. So within a year, you could have 4 cycles from mania to depression and so forth. Typically, people really start to develop symptoms in their late teens and early 20s. About half of people are diagnosed before the age of 25. Many people can get good treatment for bipolar depression, but I think it's fair to say that it's not easy. First of all, it can be challenging to get the diagnosis. Second of all, it can be challenging to trial medications, see if they're working. But the key is ultimately finding a medication that's more of a mood stabilizer. You don't want to give someone an antidepressant who could possibly go into a manic phase. That could just worsen the mania. It's more about giving mood stabilizations to cut down on the intensity of the mania and the depression.
Worker right there.
I have to get it. I feel like you avoided this album title.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I mean what it says right here on the
I hate
title.
being bipolar. It's awesome. I have a theory about you, so tell me if this is correct. I feel like you feel like being bipolar is part of what makes you brilliant, part of what makes you you, and you embrace it.
Yeah, I think that's another one of those things where people are like, how are you going to talk about it? The funny thing is, this is something I was like on the internet before. It was kind of funny, but it's not an opposite. It's not I hate being bipolar. It's awesome. It's actually, it drives more of how you really feel. It doesn't do an opposite thing. So I think it's important for us to have conversations about, open conversations about mental health, especially with me being Black, because we never had therapists in the Black community. We never approached like taking medication. And I think it's good that when I had my first complete blackout at age 5, my mom didn't fully medicate me because I might have never been Ye. And there's times where at least I'm happy that I know, like even like for this interview, I knew I wanted to stay in a calm state because by the time I got to TMZ, I was ramped up. So what was awesome is that the world got to really experience someone in a ramped up state. And that's when you get these comments that just shoot out, like almost like Tourette's.
Because you have highs and lows. And when you have a high, you're on a roll. And when you have a low, you're not.
Well, there's some cases of bipolar where people go low. I'm one that goes high. Like Michelle Obama said.
So you don't have extreme periods of depression?
Oh, no.
No. Oh.
No. Because I just say it. I'll say on real TV, like, oh, I thought about killing myself, and then the thought is gone,
Wow. So all people need to do is get on TV. That's really the solution.
Well, they need to be able to express themselves without fear of judgment. What I love telling people is, like, who do you know? And yeah, let's go, especially black men, but, you know, I'm 41 years old, and I don't know anyone, you know, that up as much as I have, that's still as successful. So I want to prove that you can get fat, you can say the wrong things, you can piss a whole
And you
city
can be
off.
president of the United States.
Well, yeah, it's
There's one person. Kanye West, everybody. This is his album.
And as you see in the video, Kanye West is not crazy. He's very intelligent. He has bipolar, and he's more on the manic spectrum than he is on the depressive spectrum of the mental illness of bipolar. I felt that is very important for two reasons that I did point that out and show the video. Hopefully that'll help you understand exactly what bipolar is. And sometimes with his behavior, it's something that he cannot control. So not saying that, you know, we still can't hold him accountable for certain things that he say that are wrong, but at the same time, sometimes it just comes out and it doesn't come out in the way that he wanted to come out. In the Black community, when it comes to medical, going to see the doctor and medical issue, both male and females, it's a fact that sometimes we don't get the help we need. Sometimes even when we go to the doctor and we're saying we have this issue, that issue, they don't want to listen. They just want to pass us along or give us, you know, some aspirins and say go home. And then with males, it's worse because a lot of men don't go to doctors. It's more Black females go to doctors than Black males. And then the second part to that is when it comes to mental health, a lot of Black females or males, they don't go to counseling, they don't go to therapy, they don't deal with any mental issues they have. And when you discredit somebody by calling them crazy, it's very disrespectful, especially when you know they have a mental illness. And calling someone crazy is a very easy way to be dismissive to them. And it's almost like a cue saying, hey, we don't have to listen to him because he's crazy. Hey, don't listen to him because he's crazy. Even if he's spitting facts, don't listen to him because he's crazy. Kanye West, Ye is not crazy. He's very intelligent and he has bipolar. His thoughts are running through his head and he's not able to get them out the way he wants to get them out, and he's not able to put on brakes to stop certain things from coming out. So I just want to let everyone know that, and please keep that in your mind when you're looking at the things he do. This is how he's going to be for the rest of his life, basically. So it's not, oh, what Kanye West is up to, why is he doing that? When you see him being sporadic, he has bipolar. He's going through one of his episodes. That's it and that's all. And then the other thing, like I was saying about mental health in the Black community, if people who has mental health or feel that they have a mental health issue and they see the way society is treating Kanye and calling him crazy, why would they go get help? Why would they go get a diagnosis? And we in the Black community, we shouldn't stigmatize mental health issue. We shouldn't make anyone feel bad because they have a mental health issue. Then the second part I want to talk about is the tweet that he did that people are saying is anti-Semitic. I'm going to go ahead and show that tweet. Okay, once again, I'm not defending Kanye. I'm just trying to just present facts and information. Understanding that Kanye has bipolar, he sent out that tweet and he's saying, I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on all Jewish people, something like that. If you read the whole tweet, because a lot of people just want to cut it off there, but if you read the whole tweet, he's saying that because he's a Christian, and I did a video saying that Black people, because I'm sorry, because life started in Africa. In the Bible, in Genesis, it talks about Ethiopia and how one of the rivers that flowed through the Garden of Eden was in Ethiopia. And so life started in that area on the continent of Africa. And so I also did a video explaining, or kind of questioning, can Black people be one of the 12 tribes of Judah, one of the Israelites? So Kanye being a Christian, he's saying that he's also Jewish because of that. And like I said, I did a video, so I'm not going to really get into all that. So if you read the whole tweet, Kanye is saying, I'm also Jewish, so how can what I say be anti-Semitic? One thing, two points I want to make about that. One, if you understand what Kanye is talking about in the whole, he's talking about the music industry, which is ran by a lot of Jewish people. So he said, because I don't know, but he's saying that it's ran by a lot of Jewish people. I have been hearing things about how the rap community, people in music, has been taken advantage of by gatekeepers, music producers, and different people like that who's in charge of the rap industry. Kanye West has a problem with that. A lot of other rappers have a problem with that, but some don't speak out, and some go along and play the games with these gatekeepers. Kanye West is speaking about that. When he's saying Jewish people, he's not talking about all of the Jewish community. I know it came out that way, but sometimes that's how we speak. A lot of times you hear people say, I have a problem with women. Are they talking about all women? No. Sometimes you hear people say, I have a problem with men, or I have a problem with this race or that race. Are they talking about all people in that race? No. Or that ethnicity? No. They're talking about a small group or certain people that they dealt with in that community, that race, a male, female, whatever it be. So Kanye is generalizing it by saying Jewish people, when in essence, he's talking about the music industry. Hollywood is it is just known, it is rumored, known, whatever you want to say, is very wicked. The music industry is very wicked. I am a Christian, so I stand on the side of Jewish people. And because Kanye is a Christian, I also stand on the side of him being a Christian. There are good and bad people I don't care who you are, Christian, Jews, Jewish people, whoever. There are good and bad people everywhere. And that's just an adult, logical way to look at things because it's a fact. There's no one race that everybody is perfect or everyone is good or everyone is evil or sinister or manipulate or taking advantage of people. So what's Kanye saying? Is it anti-Semitic? No, because DEFCON 3 is not a threat. DEFCON 3 is a level of awareness. I'm putting myself in awareness. I'm watching, I'm being careful. I'm watching how I move because of these people. Once again, he's not talking about the whole Jewish community. He's talking about the music industry. And he has been talking about that for a while because he don't like the way they're doing it. He feel like they're blackballing him and different things like that. Like the people that's in the media that don't want him to talk, the people in the music industry and stuff like that. And it's not just Jewish people, it's white people also, or people who are in the upper, the 1%. The people who are controlling things, and then they got their lackeys up under them who's kind of like gatekeepers. That's what Kanye is basically talking about in that tweet. If any Jewish people, I apologize, even though I didn't tweet it. If any Jewish person was offended by that, Kanye was not trying to offend anyone. And that's why he said, I'm Jewish also, and I can't be anti-Semitic. He's not threatening any Jewish people. He's not threatening to hurt anyone. DEFCON 3 is not a threat. It's just a level of awareness. And that's what he's saying, that I gotta be careful how I move, and I'm being aware of the people that's around me because of me being outspoken about what's going on. I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. And then I also want to share another tweet with you. And this is, I think it was like a year ago that he made these tweets. And so I just want to also share that with you. Okay, so when Kanye West made these tweets, I'm sorry, I keep calling Kanye. When Ye made these tweets, he, people was like saying, what's wrong with him? You know, they're still going through that. What's wrong with him? These tweets don't make any sense. What is he talking about? Different things like that. But when you look at these tweets that he did about a year ago, and then you think about what's happening now, they make more sense now than they did then. Like I said, he's bipolar. Sometimes things just come out and they don't come out the way he wants them to come out, but he's not crazy. If you think about the situation with Ray J got upset. I think they said at one point he might have been thinking about taking his life over what's going on with him with the Kardashians. He put out there that Kim and Kris knew that the sex tape was made, and they was part of putting the sex tape out there. He also stated that Kris wanted them to do a second sex tape. They went ahead and did it. She watched the first one, she watched the second one. She said the second one was a little too raunchy, and the first one gave Kim a better look. Now, think of a mother watching her daughter have sex and then saying, well, I don't like the way you look in this one, let's go try it again. And then watching a second tape of your daughter having sex. And then think about the adult daughter that's okay with her mother watching her have sex. So when Kanye's saying he's scared for his daughter when he can't locate her, they're trying to keep his daughter from him. And he don't want his daughter to be part of that industry. He don't want his daughter to be, you know, on TikTok and things like that. Now that you know that those tweets he was making wasn't from someone that was crazy. It was from a concerned father because he knew what type of people he's dealing with. So if a mother is not protecting her own daughter and saying, no, we're not going to put this out here, give me the tape, let's destroy it, what kind of protection is she going to give to her granddaughter? And if a mother is okay with what's going on with a sex tape and okay with it being pushed out there, what kind of protection is she going to give her daughter? That scares Kanye. And so that's why he put out those tweets and was like, you know, worried about where his daughter is. And, you know, sometimes, you know, I don't want to really get into it, but just understand that's why he was doing all that, you know, putting those tweets out there, because he is concerned about his daughter. And I can understand why. And if you have any type of common sense, if you have a child and you understand what they did with that sex tape, you will understand how Kanye feel and why he, you know, was acting like he was at that particular point in time and doing all those tweets about Kris and calling her all those names and then going back and deleting them because someone comes and talks to him and be like, no, don't put that out there. And so I wanted to say that. I also want to share another video with you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
you
look,
don't know? What were you? I mean, to hear him make these type of comments, these anti-Semitic comments, you weren't taken aback?
No, I already heard him say that stuff before. He
When?
At TMZ. When he was at TMZ that time, I was taken aback because that type of anti-Semitic talk is disgusting. It's like I'm taken aback anytime anyone does that, right? But as far as him, I knew that was in him because when he came to TMZ, he said that stuff and they took it out of the interview. So if you look at what I said at TMZ, it goes from me saying like I said, hey, Kanye, there's real life, real world implication to everything that you just said there. What I say after that, if I can remember, it's been a long time, was actually 12 million people actually died because of Nazism and Hitler and all of that stuff. And then I say, and then I move on to talk about like, you know, what he said about slavery was this whole big thing. Well, the 12 million people part is not in there because they took it out. And the reason why they took it out is because it wouldn't have made sense unless they kept in Kanye saying that he loved Hitler and the Nazis, which he said when he was at TMZ. He said something like, I love Hitler, I love Nazis, something to that effect when he was there. And they took it out of the interview because of whatever reason. It wasn't my decision for him to take it. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, I knew that this was eventually coming. As a matter of fact, I had anticipated it coming like way earlier than this. That was 4 years ago, and he really hasn't attacked Jewish people before then. But one of the producers at TMZ actually stood up and said, I'm Jewish, and that is offensive to me, what you just said. Because he said something, he said, I love Hitler or I love Nazis or something like that. But that's what he said. He said that whatever. So, and they took it out. And there was, I guess, conversation between him and whatever, and it came out in an interview. So if you go back and watch that clip, and if people want to go back, if you go back and watch that clip, I say what I say, and there's a cut right there. And people might think that they stitched it together to make me seem more eloquent, which you can't possibly do. But no, they stitched it together to take out my reference to the Holocaust. And I said 12 million because we're talking about 6 million Jews, 6 million others that were killed during the Holocaust. And they took that out because they took out him saying
they
he was a
took out
Nazi.
the part of him making those type of comments, but they kept in the part where he made disparaging comments towards Black people?
Correct. Correct. So they kept in slavery. Holocaust was the third rail, had to get out. Correct.
So you see with this video with Van Lathan, how he stated that Kanye always felt the way he did about Jewish people because he stated that he was okay with Hitler or something like that. I can't really speak on that because there's no video of that. This is just what Van Lathan is saying, that when Ye was on TMZ, this is what he said. But if you think about everything Kanye's been saying, but let me kind of go back. Okay, everyone was upset with him for wearing White Lives Matter shirt, and they wasn't, they was upset about that. I was not upset about Kanye wearing the White Lives Matter shirt because of the message he was putting out there. When you look at everything Kanye has been talking about when it comes to his daughter, when it comes to the music industry, even when it comes to mental health, when you're dealing with Black people and white people and different things like that, Black lives don't matter. White lives is always put above Black lives, and Black lives are always at the bottom. Even with other cultures, they're above Black people when it comes to life. Because, and basically everything he's been going through has been proving it. They're trying to railroad Kanye, and I don't appreciate that. That's not a great thing to do, is railroad a person when they're getting things off their chest that are facts. And like I said, because he's bipolar, it's not coming out exactly the way he wanted to come out. And so, if you notice in that video with Van Lathan, he said that Kanye said something about Hitler. And then in that same video, he was saying that Kanye also said slavery was a choice. But you notice what he said. The comment about Hitler was deleted, but they left the comment in about slavery was a choice. The comment about Hitler will offend Jewish people. The comment about slavery being a choice is offensive to Black people. If you're not going to leave both of those in, why not take both of them out? Why not offend one race by taking out what he said about Jewish people, or not Jewish people, but Hitler, that can be offensive to Jewish people, but keeping what's offensive to Black people? Once again, white lives matter, Black lives don't. And that's the point Kanye was making with that shirt. When you look at everything that goes on, who's making money off all these Black people dying out here? When the police kill a Black person, then yeah, everyone, oh, Black lives matter, Black lives matter. Really? But when Black people out there killing other Black people, crickets. When a whole industry is making music off of Black death, and the people who's out there singing about Black death, the ones who's out there dying because of people listening to that music. I'm not necessarily saying they're listening to the music making them do it, but at the same time, they're living that lifestyle and they're dying, but no one does anything about it. White lives matter, Black lives don't. Black Lives Movement, what did all that money, how did all that money serve the community? What foundation was established to help get these boys off the street? Was a lawyer set up to say, hey, if y'all want to go into the music industry, we offer, y'all can bring y'all contract to this lawyer? Where's that lawyer? Did they put that money together? Did they invest in Black lawyers to look over contracts? Not only help people in the music industry, but any Black person who feel they're being shafted by someone else, they could take their contract to this organization and have them look over it. Is that what they did with the Black Lives Matter money that they collected? So let me know so I can put it out there. Let me know the law firm that was set up to help these people negotiate contracts, whether it's their athletic contract, music contract, or whatever, or someone who maybe want to try to get out of contract. Where's the help for them? So when he's speaking the way he's speaking, y'all don't understand, but he's speaking clearly. Sometimes I think people just choose not to understand because they label him as being crazy, which is so dismissive. And like I said, they're just trying to railroad him at this point. That's why when he did that interview, I can't think of the man's name right now, but he kept trying to get him to he kept trying to get him to apologize for that tweet, but he never examined the tweet. He never asked him, well, what did you mean by saying you're Jewish? He never said, DEFCON 3 isn't a threat. It's been an alert. Why do you feel that you need to be alert against Jewish people? Why wasn't those questions asked about the tweet? I know that's what I'd have been, if I didn't really understand what Kanye was trying to say and I had a chance to interview him, I'd be like, Kanye, why do you need to be on alert when it comes to Jewish people? Or do you feel that they're a threat to you? What's going on? Because he did not threaten them. He said, I'm going to be on watch. So I'd have been curious, well, Kanye, why do you need to watch out for Jewish people? What's going on? Could you explain that to me? Oh, and you say you're Jewish too. Okay, how do you feel that you're Jewish? They didn't want to do that because they want to paint a narrative that he's threatening Jewish people and that he's anti-Semitic when he's not. He's talking about the music industry. He's talking about the people that's taking advantage of the Black people. And I really don't care what color they are. I don't really care about what nationality they are, anything like that. And I understand that he do have a fan base that might not be thinking on a logical level. So maybe instead of him saying Jewish people, meaning everyone, he should have narrowed it down more as far as who he was talking about. But he's not threatening Jewish people. He's not a threat to Jewish people. He just wants to make people understand what's going on when it comes to the music industry. What's going on, how Black people are being taken advantage of, and he want to make a point about that. But instead of people listening to him, they want to sit there and criticize and not look at the whole tweet and examine the whole tweet and ask them. You had an opportunity to ask them about everything that was on there. I even seen one interview where they jumped all over that and just focused on one thing. You could take anybody tweet and focus on one thing and say, okay, they hate this person, but they don't examine the whole tweet. What happened to that? I thought you're supposed to read everything and then at that point come to a synopsis. Try to understand what's going on. Don't just read this and be like, okay, I know the whole story. I know everything. But that's what they're doing to him. And I think that's so wrong. Especially when you know the man has a mental illness where he can't control what he says sometimes. He can't control how it comes out. Like I said, I'm not making excuses for him, but I am stating the fact. And so when you're talking to him, understanding that he's bipolar, you have to dive a little deeper with him to get to where you're trying to go. And sometimes that might be kind of hard at times because he is bipolar. But at the same time, at least question him on, okay, exactly what did you mean about this tweet? You said this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? At least try to understand what he's trying to say and don't just automatically go to, he hates Jewish people, because he don't. I'm sorry, it's like I'm just getting so upset because it's like, I truly understand what he's saying. It's just so much, and I'm not just directing this at Jewish people. I'm directing this at the evil that's in this world. And anytime a person comes up to speak out about this, they try to make the person who's talking seem like they're crazy. Like I said, you have this upper echelon of people who has money. They're puppet masters, whatever you want to call them. Then it's like the trickle down effect, because it's levels. And then you have these people that kind of in between the normal people who don't buy into their BS and them, what you want to call the gatekeepers. And anytime something pop off that they need to be hush hush, that's when those people will run out and start talking. That's when those people run out. They're like the cleanup crew. That's what I'm calling. They like the cleanup crew. They come out there, try to clean up things that was said, try to say, oh, this, that. When in reality, it's not. It's not. I would love to go deeper into that, but I don't think this is a video for it. But before I go, someone was saying something, I forget exactly what they tweeted about Kanye with that White Lives Matter shirt on, and they was very upset. A black rapper, I just put it like that, and they was very upset about what Kanye said about, you know, the White Lives Matter shirt. Well, not what he said, but wearing the White Lives Matter shirt. This person, during the height of the pandemic, had black women on his live twerking, getting naked and whatever, and he was promising them money, but he never sent them money. To me, that's a black woman. So why would you disrespect a black woman, but then you're upset about a t-shirt that Kanye wore that says White Lives Matter? What about these black females that you're degrading, that you're putting down? She's black, but I guess her life don't matter because it was what you wanted. Your selfish desires negated this black woman, so you didn't want to treat her with respect. And then at the same time, you're lying to get these women to come on your live to do all this twerking and dropping it and spreading it and doing everything else, but you're okay with that, but you're mad at a t-shirt. Your behavior towards another person, making them feel shitty, was okay, but you're mad at Kanye because he wore a t-shirt that he was making a point, because he's out here speaking up for black people going into contracts and not getting their fair share. That's why I said white lives matter, black lives don't. And people need to open their eyes about that. They really do. Stop. Black lives matter right now is just a slogan. It has no meaning behind it. It's just a slogan. Until change happens, it's just a slogan. And I'm going to just leave it right there. Peace.